right, and we are recording.
Hey, my good people, my Bible Blacks fam.
I don't know. We got to come up with a name, everybody. We're gonna call them Blacksters.
No.
Biblesters.
Ponder that. I am not gonna say, "Hey, Blacksters." Hey, Biblers. We'll find a name because if Rihanna got her Navy,
she got Navy.
Got her Beehive.
We got the Saint joint. I don't know.
St. Joyce. This sounds like an off-brand baseball team.
No, this is the Saint joint. I don't know.
No, we're not using a joint.
Okay.
I'm
a joint as establishment. All right, we have finally made it to the last episode of our first season. Woo-hoo. We are in episode 10.
And I just have to say, we started off this journey really, really excited to do it.
Oh my God, it sounds like award ceremony music should be playing, like an Oscar.
You gonna wrap me up? No, but oh wow, you really are wrapping me up. No, I'm just gonna say, like, we just really didn't expect it to turn out the way it did. Because I mean, you know, my expectations are never really that high. Not to say that I'm like an Eeyore. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just do stuff, and then look where we are. And it's like...
That's true. No, that's true. I don't know. I know a lot of people think Scorpios are mean, blah, blah, blah. But we always have high expectations. But I think that's because a lot of us are very stuck up. And so we just know. I'm like, I'm going to put my sauce on this. It's going to be banging. And so that's just how we thrive and we roll.
Geminis, we appear to be stuck up. Like, I can tell you, Kanye... Biggie, Prince, even the orange guy, we all have that air of like, yeah, I got it. But in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my God, I don't think I got it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, no, not a Scorpio.
But
we don't
see
care.
It, though. That's my point. You don't see it.
So yeah, you guys mask it well.
Yeah. And like, we're really perfectionists. Like, everything has to be like, you know, before it's, you know.
Yes. I have learned that with Miss Jaye on this journey.
Everybody.
Because she's like, oh, no, we need to do. I'm like, girl, no, we are going to record. We're just going to do it.
If it was not for Regina, this podcast would probably not have launched.
No. She would have been like, oh, I want to wait till we save enough money and have a big studio and I want to decorate all. I'm like, you can't. What's that old lady saying? You trying to put the horse before the cart? Yeah. Or before the horse. There you go. She want to put the cart before the horse. I'm like, no.
What about that?
You can't have all the stuff, all the...
I just like to be planned and well thought out.
I mean, yes, you plan and you think it out.
If you can just allow me to talk about my husband, Maxwell. Listen, if you listen to me, you know I love you. I've been about 7 of your shows.
Oh,
but
no.
For example, as a Gemini, he's really like... perfectionist to like a fault because he takes so much time on his craft. He's not ready to just put stuff out all the time. I think I have a lot of that in me.
Well, yeah, and
like it has to be.
I say this all the time about Geminis. I feel like Geminis, because they have the two face, like you guys have two different sides. And I feel like the two sides it's like your one side is in Cancer and one side is in Taurus.
I don't want to agree.
And so I know you don't want it, but that's what I'm saying. So that Cancer side is that I don't want to put anything out unless it's perfect, because a lot of Cancers that I know are like that. They want everything to be exactly how they want it. But sometimes that hinders you, right? And you're like, you end up not putting that out because you're so hindered on focusing on things being perfect. And it's like, nah, just sometimes you just got to roll with it.
You know who's like that too? Virgos.
Oh, Virgos. My first daughter is a Virgo. You talking about a perfectionist, but their problem is if it isn't perfect, it doesn't hinder them from doing something. They'll do it and then they'll stress out the whole time, the entire time. I remember my child, she used to pluck her eyebrows out because she would be so stressed, and I'd be like, girl, it's a B-. You got an 89. That's good.
Anyway, we'd be like, B-, bet.
Right. Good. And she'd be like, no, I got an A. It's got to be perfect. And I'm like, okay, you have got to chill. But see, my other child who's a Scorpio, like her mama, She'll give him 2 poo-poos about that grade. Now, granted, she's still smart, thank God. She passed. But honestly, I don't know. We're going to see what happens when she hits middle school, because she might be like, this too hard. I don't care.
Right. So, yeah, I say that to say we've come a long way in this Baba Black journey.
That we have. And we thank you guys for joining us on this journey.
Yes. Cool. It is so much fun.
On this,
I don't think y'all know.
On this magical ride.
On
this fantastic voyage.
You put your girl 6 voice on that one. Are we still talking about the platform?
No, I was just trying to see if somebody catched on what song I was doing.
I know, right? I caught it.
Come along and ride on this
You forgot?
Okay, first of all, I'm a little older. I was not I was in the real song. I'm at the real Fantastic Voyage, one from the 70s. Not Coolio. No,
I'm still saying rest in peace to Coolio.
I mean, definitely rest in peace. But no, I was not on his version.
I'm an 80s baby, raised in the 90s. So any stuff like that will be a trigger for nostalgia. So that's where I thought you were going.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Saying Fantastic Voyage, is that Lord, I feel like I should know this. It's not. It's not Cool in the Game.
Google is your friend. Let me see.
It's
Slide, sippity slide.
Is it Confunction? Somebody. You Googling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Lakeside.
Okay, I was off.
Lakeside, that's the other one. Oh, they did that good slow song back in the day. See, now, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna have to deal with my deviation. Because, see, she done blame Miss Jaye. Because she done threw me all the way back.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
I'm way back.
What song? What's the other song they sang?
I'm trying to find it. It's a good slow song. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. And then you'll be like, oh, I know that. Ooh, that's right. They did It's All the Way Live.
It's All the Way. Oh, my God. Coolio sampled that, too. So, he had a real good thing for Lakeside. Wow. No, he did. Did he sample that? I think he did.
I don't know. Maybe.
Somebody sampled it.
I know. But they probably... Y'all sick of us. Y'all like, I'm glad y'all made it to episode 10. Because y'all deviate too doggone much. I'm going to have to find that soul song, doggone it. Because I think it's if it's not I Want to Hold Your Hand, it might be another one. Well, amen to that. So, as Miss Jaye was saying, thank you guys for joining us on this our first season. And as we're wrapping it up, what we decided to do on this very last episode is do y'all know how Martin and some of them good 90s TV shows, they would do that recap one episode where it's like a recap of everything that happened for the season and make a whole reel of it.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorites is definitely the Martin one when they go through all of the episodes. Because my favorite Martin episodes, besides the New Jack City one, is the island one when they was fighting.
There ain't no damn puppy.
But it was like, there ain't no damn puppy. They was beating the heck out of that rodent, whatever it was.
The motorized
yeah. And then you could see it. They put it on top of like a RCA racetrack type car toy. And it's driving all the way through the rooms. If y'all ain't never seen Martin, please go see it. Because it is a classic.
And don't tell me you don't like it either. Because you have no soul.
Right. You honestly don't. If I don't know why people be trying to play him. But...
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember if they even won some awards back in the day. Besides the NAACP.
If nothing else, you gonna get an NAACP.
Man, for real. But they really should have won some Emmys and stuff back in the day. But either way, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. So we're gonna do a little reel and recap some of our favorite moments in this season.
Yes.
So if y'all been rocking with us, y'all remember in the beginning, we started with the book of Genesis.
Right.
Duh, because it's the beginning. And so one of my favorite parts of our episode from that, we was talking about how Adam and Eve got kicked out the garden.
Talk about fumbling a bag.
Man, they fumbled that bag hard.
And I don't think I ever forgave Eve because of that.
It's like they said, what is it? You pick up the bag and fumble it. Pick up the bag and flip it and tumble it. Man, they fumbled it hard. Okay, all because of him downstairs. And so that's definitely one of my favorite moments because we talked about how when you think about it, those were his actual friends because all he had was Eve and the animals. Mm-hmm. And so he got kicked. He lost his job, lost his house, and his friends. Yeah. And got kicked out of the whole garden. And
the stress got completely out.
He was like, y'all reckless. He said, y'all are a liability. I don't know who y'all gonna let up in here, but y'all gotta go.
Y'all got to go.
Y'all have to go. And so we had talked about, I'm laughing already.
You can't even get it out.
I know. Because we talked about if you live in the Garden of Eden, which is paradise, and you have everything you could ever want and need. Everything. And now you kicked out of that. And now you got to figure out how to fend for yourself and for your wife, technically. Because, Eve, obviously, she seemed like she didn't know nothing or how to do anything. And so I'm pretty sure Adam was stressed. And he's talking about how they probably was trying to gather food. And then he mad at her because the fish tastes like mercury. He like, I ain't eating this fish. The fish was fresh back in Eden. And this one tastes nasty. I'm pretty sure they was crying and they was looking back.
I'm pretty sure they didn't talk for a good 12 hours.
I'm sure. I'm sure she was like, I can't believe you tried to throw me out there like that. And he was like, I can't believe you got us kicked out the paradise, girl.
And you know how it is when you fight with your mate. You don't talk, but you want to make up with food. Like, you want this berry? I caught this fish.
What? No, berry.
I caught this fish. You hungry?
I want that. You know why? Because it don't even taste the same now.
All right, well, I don't know what else I got to do, okay?
This fish got mercury in it. That's probably you know what didn't have mercury tasting fish? Okay? In Eden, we didn't have mercury tasting fish.
Well, I'm sorry, Eve. We are not in Eden anymore. I can't help you. And remember we talked about how the conversation Adam and Eve may have had about the fruit. About like, somebody gave me this fruit. Go ahead and bite it.
Right.
The whole thing. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments of what we talked about. Because I still think that Eve was a mouthy woman. I think I said that in episode 1. I think she was very just go ahead and bite it.
Right. Right. Because he probably, like you say, he probably said, like, where you get that from? She's like, don't worry, after she ate the 3/4 of the fruit.
Probably gave him the core, was like, here,
just try it. Just taste it. Stop asking me questions. Right. It was a whole setup.
She definitely had a little skip, a little hop.
Like, I probably was still over there trying to skip between the lion and the cow. And here she comes skipping. And he turned around like, what's wrong with you? What's in your hand?
Why are you so happy? Why are you so happy?
What's happening?
I'm in the middle of a whole mammal dispute. Right. And here you are with some fruit that we are not supposed to touch. Right. And you know, took 3/4 bites out of it.
He probably was like,
what's wrong with you?
Or either that, or he was probably like, I said, wait a minute, where you get that from?
This why we can't be trusted. We do the most.
She said, we ain't never ate or seen that kind. Now, you ain't never cooked that a piece of food that looked like that. Where you get that from? Now, can you imagine how the story went when she like, well, the serpent, he built a serpent.
What is a serpent?
Where did serpent come from? I don't know. No. I was just out there. Remember when you had told me to go out there?
I did.
And go clean the fruit?
Yes.
I was out there doing what I was supposed to do.
Yes.
And then, remember, I've been telling you to cut the grass, but them blades was really tall. And you ain't cut the grass lately.
Hold on, Eve. So it's my fault?
I'm just saying, if you would have tended to the grass, and if they were not tall blades, maybe I would have been saw the serpent coming a long time away. Eve. And then I could have came and told you.
I'm going to stop you right here.
That don't look right.
Because I'm in charge of a lot, okay? I asked you to do one thing, and you go push it back on me about some tall grass?
He probably is like, girl, I'm out here arguing. I'm trying to...
There is a whole lion and a cow on my left and my right
that are disputing at the moment.
And you talking about grass.
And you talking about I ain't cut the grass.
What did Alan say? Talking about practice? It was a scheme.
Dang. He's so mad at her. He was like, you got us kicked out of paradise.
Walking out with what? Leaves and bushes covering his private parts. Because before, they didn't even know they was naked.
Correct. They didn't. They had no clue.
Yeah.
And then poor God, he came down so disappointed. He was like, Lord, my children.
Listen, shout out to God. Because from the start to where we left off last week, my man has been going through it.
He's been going through it. Oh, he got a hard job as a parent. Dang.
I would have left the kids long time ago.
Right. I wonder if it's like if he ever had to go to a parent-teacher conference and be like, so about your kids.
No. Nope.
One of them actually literally enjoys eating boogers all the time. And the other one, we can't keep his hand out his pants. And then your daughter, she trusts anybody. We had to save her so many times from being kidnapped. They just don't listen.
It is him. You think I don't know this? Isn't it your job to teach? Just worry about that. You know how parents get. Just worry about that.
Oh,
do your job.
Man. Oh, that sucks. That's so bad. She's like, I'm going to have to write you up. And we're going to have to put this in your file. On your kid's file.
Adam and Eve should have had a file to begin with.
Man, they should. Because just like we said, they wasn't even looking out for her. They didn't even realize that Abel was gone.
No.
Lord.
We all know what happened with Cain and Abel.
Man. And then that goes to our next episode, the 4040 Club, where we talked about Noah and the Ark.
Now, this may have been one of my favorite episodes.
Okay.
It's hard to say because it's only been a few, but I don't want to claim this as the favorite, but this one was gold to me because just thinking about life on the Ark had me stitches. And then not only that, Noah's task to make this Ark, building brick by brick,
for years.
And the entire community is like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. Judging him.
And his poor wife.
Man, I feel so bad for her. Because she had she had to trust this man because he changed his job. You can't tell nobody. People looking and judging her every time she walk her babies down the street and take it to the store. They be like, they're gonna know his wife. Y'all know he touched because he over there building an ark.
Do you see any rain?
And so yeah, I did. I felt bad for his wife because I'm sure she had to deal with all of the judgmental eyes upon her.
We even said that too about the judgment she had to face too. I think from the people.
Yeah.
In the land. Mm-hmm. And then the sons that they got.
Man, that ghetto name Ham. I still am looking for somebody out there in the world to tell me that their name is Ham.
Well, we've got Hamlin.
No,
Hamlet.
You have Hamlet. Yeah, but not just
hamsters.
Ham.
Honey-baked hams. Ham steaks.
And so one of my favorite moments from that episode was when we were talking about how they had to have a poop shoot on the Ark because with all of those animals, even though there was only 2 of them, but it's 2 of every animal, every fowl, every critter, every rodent. Like that's still a lot on this boat to go with just.
That's way too much.
Right. To go with just Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives. So that's 6. That's 8. There's only 8 humans on this boat. But I'm sure it stank. And so, like we said, they probably had to make sure they definitely put a poop chute in place to make sure they had something to dump the feces.
Talking about a ventilation.
Right.
Get some fresh air. But I know one thing. What? It stank on that Ark.
It stank.
Because if
he was smart, he had some type of contraption where he can open a hole that wouldn't take the water in.
He had some air vents.
Some top vents, and they was dumping the feces and everything on the side.
He had a poop chute on the Ark. Let's just say they did, because I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever been to a zoo, it stank.
It does.
It smells like animal butt.
It does. I don't
all types.
With them.
So that's what I imagine that Ark to have smelled like. But if you're gonna be on there for 40 days and 40 nights, I'm gonna assume safely that, like you said, there was a contraption there.
There was something.
And something to give us some fresh air. Because I'm pretty sure every now and then somebody stuck their head out the side like, oh, it's still raining, y'all. Right. I'm going to come back in. Yeah. I just need that fresh air for a little bit.
I wonder, now that you blew out like that, I wonder if anybody was like a smoker and used to go to the top of the deck of the ark, be like, ooh.
What would they smoke on?
Well, remember, I had said that. Yeah, I said that no one's probably out there smoking on that grass when God came upon him. So he probably packed him some grass for the trip. Right. He was like, I'm going to need this to deal with these people for 40 days and 40 nights. He out there.
That's a long time to be stuck on a boat with your family.
Whoo!
And a bunch of animals that you probably don't even really care for.
You done said a word with that, because I know
can't
me.
Be on a boat with my family for 40
I can't. My family lives all the way on the West Coast. Okay, for a reason. When I go to visit, it's top 3 to 5 days max. That's all I can deal with. After that, they work my nerve, and so I cannot imagine 40 days.
Well, try having your family live 20 minutes south of you.
I know.
20 minutes north of you.
I cannot and will not.
Well, ideal. So, but nah, 40 days, 40 nights. Listen, 4 minutes is enough for me and mine.
I bet.
Yeah, but that was a great episode.
Yeah. And we talked about how he was so good. Mm-hmm. And then after everybody was dead, he was like, I don't know what to do. And he got so drunk by himself. Right. Partied so hard by himself that he ended up naked on the beach.
It's like, how do you fall from grace so quick?
So quick. He just...
And we've discussed a lot of the men that we've talked about did have a fall.
They did.
It's so odd to me.
It's such a repetitious pattern. Yep. A man is present in the Lord, either directly like Adam, or through, a connection of dreams, voice, whatever. Yeah. And they have God's grace, right? Which, grace technically stays with them. But, they're blessed and they have power, whatever it is. And they do good for just a minute. And then for whatever reason, they're like, it's too much pressure. I can't be this good all the time.
They do their deed and that's it.
I don't know. I just don't get it. But, it sounds like one of the old ladies' church sayings. We have all come fall short of the grace of the glory of the Lord.
No, it's like we fall.
So, man, yeah, it is. And then it still tickles me that after Eve, you have no female names for a minute. They are like, nope, y'all can't be trusted. We can't mention y'all right now.
And the female representation in the stories that we talked about was just so subpar and standard until we get to somebody like Sarah, right? Abraham's wife.
I wouldn't even say that, because that actually jumps into the next episode we did, which was Family Ties and Brotherly Lies. Mm-hmm. And we talk about Sarah, because at the end of the 40/40 Club, you have Abraham and his wife Sarah, and there's his nephew Lot that went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. But when it gets to the Family Ties and Brotherly Lies, Abraham has been told by God, you're going to be the father of many nations. And he's like, but my wife is infertile and we don't have no kids. So what you talking about? And she's like, well, I don't know. And my favorite part of that episode is when she took her handmaid Hagar and was like, you know what? I know the Lord, he needs some help, because he keeps promising us this child that's not happening. So you go and you sleep with my husband.
Why is that your
and then you see whether or not.
Why is that your favorite?
Because my favorite is the fact that she put her out, because she realized upon their one night of pleasure, I don't know, he is able to impregnate Hagar. And they have Ishmael.
She said, wait a minute.
So she gets super salty and she's like, ha ha ha. So obviously it's me. It ain't him. But your side piece cannot stay. That is a reminder every day of my failure as a wife.
Oh.
And so she put her out. And that's my favorite part because I felt so bad for her. She's like, it's not my fault. Like you own me and you told me to sleep with him. I just did what you told me to do.
Now, how am I in it?
Right.
What?
She's like, how am I in it? Ishmael done lost his daddy because they had got put out the house. He's probably like, huh?
What's going on?
Seriously, they gotta go. They can't be up in here blocking my blessing. If you all remember the story, quick backstory real quick on Abram, right? Abram has gotten the word from God. God is trying to build a covenant with him, but Abram ain't got no kids yet. It's probably why he loved his nephew a lot so much. They probably was really close.
Yes.
But they don't have no kids yet. And he's been living all these years. If you remember, his wife, Sarah, was like, how we going to have a covenant if we can't have no kids? And he keeps talking about he going to bless you. And apparently I'm infertile.
Sarah watching everybody around her expand and increase. And she's like, what is going on?
So she took her handmaiden, if you will.
Yes.
Hagar.
Yep.
And said, go lay with him.
Try it for me, please.
Because I've been trying everything. I
And
tried IUI, IVF. We done tried it all. And listen, I personally
this
understand.
is the first surrogacy, so
Right.
we're saying.
This is the first.
Potentially.
Right. And listen, I'm going to let y'all in on a little bit about my own personal struggles. I have a little bit of a struggle right now, infertility. I get it. I get she get a little desperate where she's like, you know what? We supposed to have kids and ain't nothing happening.
And nothing's happening.
So we can go ahead. You can lay. I ain't going to judge you. Go ahead and lay with her. And let's see if she... We need to try to find out where the problem lies. Is it me or is it him? So she let him lay with Hagar. Hagar got pregnant. They had Ishmael.
I know. Before we even talk about that, I know for a fact Sarah was like, you heifer.
Right.
So it's me. I'm the drama.
So it's me.
Okay.
So apparently it's my uterus that ain't acting right.
Hagar, you don't work here no more.
Right. So then, but look, I bet you Hagar had to be confused. She was like, you made me.
You told me to do this.
You made me lay with him. And now you kicking me out. So now I got to lose my job?
Abram's like, well, I didn't know it was going to take.
Right.
Abram,
I was just doing what you told me to do, Sarah. I don't know what you want me to do.
Sorry.
Poor Hagar, her and her baby had to go.
Y'all can get out of my face.
Sarah said, I know I did what I did, but you got to go.
You have got to.
Because now you a threat. Yeah. And I don't appreciate you being around. I don't need you smiling all
in my
funny
man's
at my man's face like that.
No.
She was ready to fight. Okay, every day. Every day that she saw her was a reminder of the fact that she was infertile.
Okay.
So, but God said, I'll protect her because this ain't y'all's fault. But Sarah, let's not do that again.
Sarah, hold on, okay? Don't take all the frustration out on her.
Right. Like, I promise you, y'all gonna get pregnant. I promise you.
Yeah.
I still ride for Sarah, though, because, I know what she did wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And, she got her baby at the end.
She did. She got her beautiful baby in the end, Isaac.
And poor Isaac.
Then poor Isaac was about to get murked.
By his own daddy.
Yeah.
And I like that episode because just the thought of poor Isaac going on a trek with his dad.
Right.
To go
and it has no clue what's going on. Thinking they're playing a game. He has no clue, no idea.
Nothing.
So what we do know is he did take him. He snuck him up to the mountain because Sarah would have probably beat him with some bricks. Like, you're not taking my son. Like, no.
Sarah was like, y'all about to go do what? You gonna do what? Who told you to do that?
Yeah. No, she wasn't. She was left cleaning the house.
Not my baby.
Mm-mm. And again, Isaac probably was like maybe 4, 5, 6, something like that at this point in time. So he's just skipping and follows that. Okay, Daddy, we going in the forest.
We're gonna go to the mountaintop.
Going to the mountaintop.
We're gonna go collect rocks. How about that?
Oh my God. I used to hate when my child was through that in that stage. Just walking around collecting rocks. Like, put that rock down.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
It's dirty.
Ew.
So that's what Isaac was probably doing. And Abraham was like, you know what? Perfect opportunity. Let's go get some rocks, son. Let's go.
I saw some good shiny rocks up here.
It's very high. You just come with me. We got it.
He was like, okay, Daddy.
Let's go.
Oh, my gosh. So he puts his son up there. I wonder if he was like in the midst of tying him down. And if at that point, Isaac was like, what part of the game is this?
Or he had some type of matches, quote unquote, or something to start the burnt sacrifice, a burnt offering. So what is he rubbing some sticks together to get the flame going?
I hope it wasn't that brutal. I hope he wasn't like going to set the boy ablaze.
It says burnt sacrifice.
I thought it was like he was going like
stab him.
Well, this sounds worse, but I thought he was going to like slit his throat. I mean, I hope not.
I think the different versions say different things.
Yeah,
I see burnt sacrifice.
Yeah, and the one I was reading earlier is because it said he had sharpened his knife and stuff and got it ready. So I was like, oh, that's a bit brutal.
You know what this reminds me of?
Oh Lord, here we go again. What's this one remind you of, girl?
The Color Purple. Remember the scene? Wait, I'm gonna walk y'all through it. Remember when Steely was fixing to shave Mister and an intercut?
I know exactly
an intercut with the African scene with the I guess some type of
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't even do it. I hope that's not. I hope Abraham was in there with the long piece of leather with the blade getting it ready. And Isaac looked like, what you doing, Daddy? Nothing. Just so messed up. Our sense of humor, y'all. I'm so sorry.
I could just picture it.
Yeah. Wow.
That one last.
So I like that part, and the other part I like is when another story that we covered in that episode was Joseph and his coat of many colors, and I like when Miss Jaye she compared Joseph to Michael Jackson.
It reminds me of the Jacksons and Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that Michael was Joe's favorite, but I'm saying that Michael was Joe's favorite.
What a correlation by coincidence that Joseph, who is Michael Jackson's dad's name, is also Joseph. It was saying it was the favorite. In the Bible.
I'm telling you, this was just what reminds me.
I just can't. So now I can't get that picture out of my mind.
So let's just keep that in your mind.
Joseph
as we keep going.
is a little version of looking at like Michael Jackson.
Yes.
With his afro.
Yes.
And his high-pitched voice.
Yes, and he was quick on his feet. He could
when
dance.
I had you to myself, didn't want you around.
And you know the brother's like, I don't feel like doing none of this. This boy over here getting all the glory.
We always in the background.
I can sing too. That's Tito. I can sing too. So
did you bathe the middle child? Stop being jealous.
Stop it.
Joseph said, it ain't my fault I have these gifts.
You know Joseph was petty. Well, you can get it too. He was like, me too.
As we're doing this recap, I shouldn't even say I'm my favorite because I have so many favorite parts.
Right.
Of what we've covered since the Genesis episode. But yeah, that was one of my favorites because child.
Well, because Joseph was he had a very prideful coat. And he wore it everywhere. We said, never washed it.
Just flaunted it in front of
front of all his brothers. And one of the things we actually didn't cover was the fact that he went, because we do go into it a bit in his adulthood that he, can interpret dreams. But when he was younger, he actually had a dream that he was going to rule over his brothers. Mm-hmm. And that's really what made them mad because he went and boasted and told them, he was like, one day y'all gonna look up to me and I'm gonna be above y'all. Y'all gonna be beneath me.
And that's really what happened with Michael Jackson and
I don't think Mike ever said to Tito.
But the parallels are there.
Oh, well, yes, the parallels are definitely there.
I love Mike, but he was elevated as far as, stardom.
I mean, he was. He really was.
Like his brothers became his background dancers and singers.
They definitely did. They did.
Yeah.
You're right. But Man, that was so funny because that was a perfect comparison. Because I was like, "Oh, you're right." Because I'm sure, because he was one of the younger brothers.
Yep.
I'm sure Mike got on Tito, Jermaine, all of their nerves because they were like, "Ugh, why we gotta take him everywhere we go?" And then every time we go somewhere, somebody like, "Oh, that's your brother that sings, right? Let him sing a song." And so I'm pretty sure they was annoyed, like, I'm just trying to go on movies and sit with my date and eat some popcorn.
Do you remember, sorry y'all, deviation, remember the TV movie for the Jacksons?
Yes. The one by Flex. Flex was playing.
Not
like,
that monstrosity.
oh, you're talking about the original
yes,
one. Yes, that's one of my favorite ones.
It is. Remember, there's a scene when they're rehearsing, I think it's I'll Be There, and poor Michael is trying to dance, and he's doing a shuffle, and like, must have been Jackie kept like pushing him out the way. Like, you get in my way.
Yes.
That's how it was.
Yeah, they started ganging up on him. Then remember they was talking about him because he had his little pet rat and stuff.
No. We're not going to do that.
He over there.
Hold on.
Something wrong with him. He over there playing with that rat.
Because that whole scene in the movie cracked me up. I shouldn't laugh that hard. But when they set the trap and killed Ben, poor Mike came and said, "They're cute. He's gone. And Joe was like, "Oh, Mr. Red, he's gone." He said, "Oh, we got him good." And Mike ran off crying. I'm like, the little boy didn't bother nobody. The whole family, Mike really, kept to himself and then killed his only friend.
They did. And it's sad, but I remember it very, very vividly. And man, but yeah, so many similarities in that story.
Right.
So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites. Comparing little Mike to Joseph. I mean, thank God though that Mike's brothers didn't traffic him like Joseph's brothers did.
We would have had a different Michael Jackson.
We would have never had him. We would have never had. Oh, can you imagine? No Beat It. Or Billie Jean.
No Dirty Diana.
No Off the Wall.
No Heal the World. No. We can go on.
I know, right?
Mike is one of my favorites.
She's out of my life.
You gotta get to the end and start
She's
crying.
out of my life. I love the person like, damn indecision and cursed pride. I give my love for her like deep inside.
Something got me choking.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yes. I'm glad Mike made it out then, because if his brothers would have thrown him into a tar pit and left him there, we wouldn't have none of these great hits.
Oh man.
Huh. Oh girl. Oh. I just had a horrible thought. We would have never had the Wiz. Oh, see, look at your face. If y'all can see her face.
Y'all, The Wiz is literally my favorite movie. I know it's an odd choice, but it is my favorite.
No, it is
movie.
Definitely. It's in my top 10.
It is.
It might be in my top 5, actually.
I don't think anything else brings me as much joy as The Wiz.
Yeah. If I want to pick me up, the problem is I can't. I've kind of been banned from my household to watch it because I will reenact the whole movie.
Thing.
And then the dance scenes, especially that end scene when everyone's stripping out of their work clothes, that skin. And then they all, but basically, them people looked like they were from the Bible. They was in loincloth, and they was dancing. Can you feel a brand new day, girl? And they said,
I love it.
Everybody look out. Okay, so no, we're not going to turn to this Michael Jackson episode.
If we could,
but
just let us do it.
Just let us run free, because oh my gosh, yes, that is what. And my family's like, can you sit down? I'm like, no. I'm sorry, I cannot.
Not at all, and I won't.
Right. So, but speaking of them breaking free, that goes into actually.
What a great segue.
Listen. The Lord has blessed me to do this. What can I say? And that moves us to our 3-part Moses story.
Oh, and this was epic, just like the movie.
Man, man, that movie was long. 3 hours and 56 minutes.
And I told you guys about my old man crush on Yul Brynner.
Oh, gosh.
And Charlton Heston.
I don't know why.
He was handsome in the movie, but they heavily tandem, you know.
Black,
know how Hollywood
they did not hand them. But y'all, I'm going to let y'all listen to that episode to hear what I said about that.
We did discuss how many liberties they took with the movie versus the
actual
my gosh. Story of Moses.
So many liberties. Because when you... My favorite was the shock that I gave Miss Jaye when she found out that Moses was a stutterer.
Because in the movie, he wasn't like that.
I know.
That's why we titled the episode "The Man Right Here."
Moses had a speech impediment.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yes. Are you serious?
A whole speach impediment.
Moses had a stutter.
So, yeah.
You know, I was
stutter.
watching. Wait. I was watching Hard Nights of the Night. Okay, so that's when my brain went to the boxer guy. Continue.
Okay, so you went to Harlem Nights. You know where I went? Yep. I went to, I hate to say this, I went to New Jack City. Done Did I stutter? So, yes. Our apologies. We are not trying to make fun of people out there who actually have speech impediments.
Absolutely not. But it's just these movies are gold.
Right. Moses actually had a speech impediment.
I didn't know that.
I'm trying to figure out how in the Ten Commandments they try to make him like he's the man and da-da-da-da.
They left that part all the way out.
Yeah, they left that out.
It's not even in the children's Bible either.
It ain't in that. It wasn't in Prince of Egypt. But when you read the actual Bible, it talks about the fact that he had a speech impediment.
Ain't that something?
And it's either... They don't really say whether it was a stutter or if he just what are those people called? The people who are afraid to give speeches and
shy.
No, in front of people.
Stage fright?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or if he had stage fright.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really go into those actual words. It just says
that is crazy. Moses was literally
he was, and he still is the man. He's like I said, the OG. But no one ever really touches on the fact that he had a speech impediment. And the Bible brings it up several times. They're like, and so he could not speak eloquently.
And he had to get his
brother
to help him.
And so he had to get his brother to help him. And so he could not present it. I was like, it comes up so many times. You're like, okay, I don't know why he couldn't.
Are we supposed to trust this guy? He can't hardly speak.
So I didn't know you didn't know that, but I told you I found that out when I was an adult and started reading the Bible. And I was like, I did probably the same reaction you had on your face was the same that I had when I was reading it one night. I was like, wait a minute. You mean Moses didn't speak the words and perform the miracles by himself? Nope.
No.
It was all Aaron. Not all Aaron. It was Aaron with him.
And then we discovered that Aaron was a little bit of a punk because they made the people of the Israelites, the Hebrews, made
which
him,
is the Israelites,
made him make the calf.
Oh,
when Moses was up there getting the word of God.
They showed that they punked him out so quick. That was like, hey, Moses could be dead, all you know. You better take this and go make us we need an idol. We need something to worship.
And in the movie, they tried the mess out of Aaron. Like, they just made him a punk. Like,
what? When?
In the movie, like, during this whole ordeal, because, like I said, the movie just condensed everything. They start to build the golden calf out of the jewelry and stuff. That man said, Aaron can do it. He can go ahead and fashion us a golden calf. And Aaron was like, I'm not doing that. What? But he did it anyway. But yeah, they straight punked him.
That's so messed up. First of all, nowadays people don't give Aaron no props anyways. They act like he didn't even partake in any of the miracles.
That's true.
And then they try to make him a whole punk.
You should have seen. Oh gosh, I encourage every listener to just go back and just watch little key pieces of both of movies, both the Prince of Egypt and the Moses movie, because the look on Aaron's face was like, I just can't believe these folk got me. Wait, can y'all? I can't believe these folk got me making this.
I mean, it's almost like they held a gun to him. It's pretty much like, if you don't do this, we gonna kill you.
Pretty much.
Because they kept saying, you don't know if Moses is alive. He might be dead.
And meanwhile, Moses working. Like, what? Like, can you give him a minute? And I am still bothered by that whole thing because them people went buck wild.
They
had
did.
A whole hedonism.
They did.
Down there.
They went buck wild.
And Moses came and saw what was going on and threw the tablets at him. What the hell? I just know good and well.
Right. And another one of my favorite parts is when we talked about how the original Pharaoh, when Moses finds out what he did, and he goes and questions him, and he's like, "And yeah, I did. I murdered. Yep, I murdered all them babies." He's like, "So they ain't nothing but slaves, anyways."
Oh God.
He was like, "I'd do it again." I was like, "Doggone, these people ruthless."
Ruthless. And then the plagues. How we
Yes.
the plagues, and then Pharaoh was like, "I don't care.
Right.
If you could survive that plague, you could survive this one."
Man, because his pride was getting the best of him. My favorite part, because that would be part 2 when we talked about the plagues. My favorite part of that was when we talked about how the poor Bessie was stricken with the boils. And it's not just the people, it's the people and the Egyptian livestock again.
Yeah,
now,
animals, yeah.
hold on. I just want to talk about this real quick. At this point, if we gonna go back to the animals, I know y'all hear us talk about the animals because I be feeling bad for the cows and stuff. If I am a whole lamb or a cow and I'm getting boils, just because I'm owned by you, I'm gonna have a problem.
I'm gonna have a whole attitude.
Right. So don't be coming to me. I'm a cow. You come to me looking at me for some milk, I'm gonna kick you.
Here it go. Essie. My sweet Essie.
What you want?
I need some milk. Can you?
Nope. Can't do it.
Wait, let me just.
Nope. Don't touch me. You know why?
Why?
Because I got boils all over my body. That's why. I can't even I don't want to be touched. Okay? I got boils. Don't touch me. I'm not comfortable. Everything hurts.
But Essie, I need some milk.
No. No, I want to go. Can y'all not do right? Poor animals just minding their own business. I just want to move. I just want to eat some grass.
In peace.
But I'm getting struck by plagues because y'all don't ain't right. Because mind you, again, in the beginning, if everything was affecting the land, that means the cows was running over by the flies, the gnats, the frogs, all of that. They was getting it. And then on top of that, now I got boils all up in my udder. Ew. Ew. The animals are probably tiptoeing because they can't talk. I'm pretty sure they got boils on the bottom of their feet. Because nobody in the movies they show only the people being affected by the plagues, but when you think about it, and the Bible actually talks about it, it affects the land. It ain't just the humans. It's the cows, the goats. Anything that's supposed to actually, you can feed off of or get something out of was all affected.
And didn't we say something about like the insects or whatever were looking down and laughing, or like that plague didn't affect us?
Oh, we're some of the birds, the fowls, because it didn't affect the fowls, and they was like, man.
Problem.
But meanwhile, poor Bessie, the poor cow, she down there, she was struggling. She like, don't touch me. I ain't giving you no milk.
We talked a lot about the animals.
We did, and it's my fault. I have a soft spot for animals. I ain't super one of those overly eccentric soft spot people, but I do feel bad, like, because it's like, dang, they're just being animals. They're not doing evil. They're not going out murdering people. You know what I mean? They're just living. But just because I'm owned by you, all of a sudden I'm getting affected by these boils and locusts and.
Remember when Moses split the sea, the Red Sea?
Man!
The water was like, here we go again.
Right. Look, I wonder if they was like swimming. Dang. What if like they on a date and it's a guy and a female fish and they swimming, all of a sudden it parts and they sit right there like, ah! Reaching out for each other like,
look, Nemo.
Right. Nemo. Like they're reaching for each other like, I can't reach you.
Nemo on one side.
Because it's a full part. It ain't like they can swim.
Right, it's a full part. You can see to the ocean floor, and here they are seeing people walk.
Right.
Like,
and the fish just looking across the way each other. They can't get to each other because they can't. They can't swim to each other until it's done.
They're like, oh, let's go be up here.
Man, the poor seas of the whales. Everybody, they're like, I'm sick of these miracles.
All all these acts of God. When are we gonna get to chill and swim?
Right. Goodness. And then in part 3, when we got to the Mount Sinai, we talked about how we don't even know how many rules is really out there because Moses was so mad he broke that whole stone tablet. He was like, listen, y'all just like just so disgraceful.
Y'all get on my nerves.
Shameful people. Yeah. So he up there handling business, getting the laws from he himself.
Sky Daddy.
And he said, okay, we got everything written down. Now go take it down and tell the people. Can you, girl? And Moses came down from that mountain to a whole orgy. A golden calf.
The stomped grapes turned into wine. The girls going, the city girls was in there doing their thing.
Everybody was twerking.
It just looked like bedlam.
It was Twerk Fest 2020.
It was Twerk Fest 2020 up in there. Like, what?
Oh my, he came down so like disappointed and shocked. He was like, what the?
As he should.
What in the hell is going on?
Because he would. Because in the movie, he was mad. He was like, I'm condensing, y'all. He was like, I've been up there working. I'm getting these commandments for y'all. If you want to be on the right side of the good, come on this side. If you want to stay over here and be bad, you stay over there. And he threw the tablets at the people. Like, you know what? I just can't take now one of y'all no more. I'm tired of it. It's like, ooh.
I was just like, oh.
You gotta be some type of just careless to go through this whole exodus. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just get your freedom and then risk it all for a few seconds or,
right,
pleasure or whatever. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
And then every time how many different times God's like, that's it. I'm a white. He was like, forget it. I'm gonna kill them all because they kept frustrating him so much because they complained that God was like, that's it. I'm gonna just kill them all. And Moses was like, don't do that because remember they're your people. It's gonna be a great nation. Until he got so mad, he just smacked that rock. He was like, I'm sick of y'all. You're telling me about this water, huh?
And people wanted that filtered water.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And then unfortunately, he didn't get to make it to the promised land. And so he had to pass the torch to my guy, Joshua, big, strong warrior man. And he told them people, he said, I ain't dealing with no nonsense. Okay.
Joshua said, I am the one and not the two.
Right. He said,
waited to get left.
Listen. That's all he had to say. He's like, y'all better be glad Moses wasn't as nice to y'all as he was because some of y'all wouldn't have made it under my leadership.
I know that's right.
So he took he won a lot of battles, and we talked about the walls of Jericho.
The good battle.
Marching around them walls. And so my favorite part from that episode when we talked about how people was probably listening to them, or it's like, huh? All you gotta do is march. Like, that's all you gotta do is march, and we gonna win.
That's it.
Times
around, and then the seventh time, and then horn.
Right?
Like, what?
Yeah, them little horn. That's how we win. He's like, yeah. That's what God said. And somebody's like, we need our swords and we need to storm this castle.
Right.
Somebody was
here.
like, the foolishness of it all. He think we gonna win by just walking. I ain't never seen no battle won by anybody just walking. We need to run up in there. Somebody was like, we need to get our swords. We need to run up in there. Go on. Who got the what is the thing called that the people with the hook and the
grapple?
Is that what's that?
Whatever it's called, yeah.
With the rope. Somebody's like, get the grapple.
Grappling hook.
There you go. And they're like, throw it. We gonna scale and climb the wall. Why ain't we scaling and climbing the wall? Storm the gates. Storm the palace.
Man.
And Josh was like, man, listen. Didn't I tell y'all don't be hard-headed? Listen to the orders. If God told you just to march, just march. There's got to be a different strategy
And I'm
behind
pretty sure I'll be
marching.
with the population that said, "Where are our swords?" Because I'm not walking
Right.
around this city like this.
Right.
So you got me bent. I'm not doing that.
But yeah, but Joshua was like, stop, quit arguing with me. Just follow. Y'all have seen all those miracles.
Yeah.
Just follow these orders, please. Please just stick with them.
Oh, remember our song?
Yes.
Episode?
Yes, our lovely Bible school
Y'all
songs
sing it
about
again?
that. No, you can go back and you can listen to our
Please,
beautiful
yes.
voices.
Go back and listen
Go
to it.
go and listen to that episode.
Absolutely.
And I still would, and I would love for people to see if there were, because shocking to us, we didn't realize there was two different versions of the walls of Jericho coming down, or
And it just lets us know how different churches are and denominations.
Yeah.
And we learn stuff, and
that's very true.
This way and that way, and,
Yeah. And so then that leads us after Joshua is when we actually go into the book of Judges, where Miss Jaye thought she was going to talk about her boo thing, Samson.
I don't like it.
And then come to find out he was not at all what she thought he was going to be.
Listen, family, I am still very bothered by how this whole Samson thing went down.
I know.
It is still fresh.
She was so excited.
I really was. And then next thing you know, it's a whole mess up. It's a whole letdown.
So Miss Jaye said it was good until it wasn't, but that even I myself was thrown for a loop with that story, because that's not at all what they teach us.
I forgot my children's Bible. I should have brought that.
Yeah, we definitely need to look and see what it should, because I'm sure it says exactly like we were taught. He was the strong man, and he was the savior and a great hero for the Israelites.
But what it don't tell you is that he was a jerk. He thought he was all that. He was an antagonizer. He set foxes on. I'm gonna keep saying this. He set foxes on fire.
I think that was my favorite part of the episode, finding that out, because when you are an adult and you reread these things in its entirety, I had never in my life saw that until we were looking at that episode.
No. This time I cannot be blamed for everything I'm going to do to you Philistines. Then he went out and caught 300 foxes.
Yep.
He tied their tails together in pairs, fastened a torch to each pair of his tails. Then he lit the torches and let the foxes run through the grain fields of the Philistines. He burned all their grain to the ground, including the sheaves and the uncut grain. And he also destroyed their vineyards and olive groves. Yeah. Bro, no. Verse 6. Who did this? The Philistines demanded. Samson was the reply, because his father-in-law from Timnah gave Samson's wife to be married to his best man.
And I was like, what? He said 300. He tied 300 foxes
Set the tails on fire to ruin their grain. I don't know. Like, there's something about the whole Samson story that just turned me all the way off. Because as it is, I don't like cocky men to begin with. Like in my normal everyday life. Like, I mean, there's a difference between being confident and being cocky.
Yes,
to me,
absolutely.
Samson was very cocky because he knew he was a golden child. So he just did all types of stuff. And, I just don't like it. No.
Right. I mean, I definitely would encourage you all to go back and listen to the two, because that was another episode or another story we had to split into 2 episodes, because it was too shocking for us. All the stuff we kept discovering was just like, whoa, wait. I never knew that. But I think the thing that my takeaway from his story, because honestly, the Delilah part, you guys, is like, it's like a 1/10 of his story, if that. There's so many other things that he encounters and shenanigans that he does, and you're like, wait, what?
And the way that Delilah, was set up our whole life, where it seems like she was the villain.
Yes.
To me, she wasn't.
Oh yeah, they definitely, as a made her like that's the thing. They made her like a promiscuous woman. Like, oh, and this is why young girls, you shouldn't grow up and want to be promiscuous and and oh, she seduced him and this, that, and the other. And you're like,
she was fighting for her people.
When you go back and read that, you're like, no, she wasn't the one who was being led by her loins. That was
Samson.
That was old boy over there.
So I remember we did give Delilah a shout out, a dedication to her. Oh, remember when we talked about Samson's future? That still gonna have me in tears.
Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all got to give me a minute because I am still picturing this service in my head of a closed casket. Of course, we're not opening that for Samson.
No, because his eyes was all gouged out.
And they got a big old picture of him in happier times with the long hair. And they probably had a choir to sing "Power" like how we were doing earlier. No one man should have all this power. Amen. Yeah. Take your time. Oh my gosh.
I just now picture that easel at the front.
The easel
with the spray, the casket
spray. They got flowers from everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Ooh. And whatever the big burial service is in the town.
Wait a minute. And then the best man from the one that the first wife was given to, he's probably up there speaking about him to the congregation. Samson was my greatest friend. He's my best friend.
Yes.
I don't know if many of y'all know this, but I actually married his wife. And I took good care of her. And then they took her from me. Lord Jesus, they took her from me. But then Samson, with all his might, came back and brought vengeance upon them Philistines who had taken her from me. Wow. And Lord knows, I'm going to miss my man. I'm going to miss him.
They could be like, do we clap?
Right.
Like, amen? Like, right. Who gets up there and says?
Right.
Hey, yo, do you think Delilah was invited to the service?
No, absolutely not. I told you, she gone. She is living lavish somewhere.
But she heard about it, though.
But I'm sure. And I know who else came. Was the teacher we was talking about. Like, I had Samson in my class for 3 years. And he used to show off all the time his strength to everybody. And when I needed some of my desk moving clean, he was the first one to step up and volunteer to help me move things around.
Amen. Yes.
And he was, and the Lord blessed him.
Amen.
He blessed him with his strength. And every day we would gaze upon them locks. Hallelujah. And we would say, oh, how good is God who had blessed him with that strength. And if it wasn't for him, we would still be probably runneth over by those evil Philistines. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
I didn't think we would hit this part of our podcast so early, but we're here.
His mama in the pew waving her hand. Yes. Talk about him. Oh my gosh.
That's still gonna have me in tears.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
man.
I think also for me, really fast, as we're wrapping up, the reason why it was just so joyous for me to talk about Samson's funeral is because we as people have our share of losing loved ones.
Yes.
And funerals can be so hard. Like, we've been through so many. And then since the pandemic, we've got the Zoom funeral and everything.
Right.
But like I said in that episode, you find joy in pain. And just knowing that us as a people will still do things the same way. And
absolutely.
Just imagine that Samson's homegoing.
I am pretty sure there was some definitely.
Remember... I hate to do this, y'all, but remember Whitney's funeral on TV? How long it was?
Huh.
And Aretha's,
Man.
it was like 4 hours long.
You know what I always go back to, talking about the fact that James Brown's body sat in his family's living room for like a whole 30 days because they was arguing over that man's, you know, like, well, who's going to do. And you're like, wait, what in the world? What are y'all doing?
Man.
But yeah, no, you're right. Because yes, unfortunately, I have lost both of my parents.
Yeah.
And my mom's funeral was definitely sad and heartbreaking for me. Mm-hmm. My dad, unfortunately, I don't know what happened with that one, but my family had 3. Yes, y'all, we had 3 separate funerals on 3 different days. Oh, and so by day 3, the family had it with each other. And it was just a whole lot going on. But one of my family gonna be so mad at me. But one of the funerals that me and my cousins, our generation, sat back because we kind of giggled during the service, which is, I know this sounds so bad, but it was for my grandpa, y'all, the one that I tell y'all that was the Baptist preacher, and that was because the person that they had doing the services, none of us knew. We had no idea who that man was. Mm-hmm. And he was calling, it was one of those funerals. He was calling out people. He called out my cousin. He was like, yes, because there was some of y'all who haven't been in church for a minute. And we need to make sure because we know not when our time is coming. And he was like looking straight at him. And we was all like, everybody's eyes were lined up. And we were like, I was like, ooh, he talking about you. We're like, he talking about you. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what, but that one, there was a couple of other things said during that service, and we were like, So, yeah,
that's where my family. I also have some, losses recently with 2 of my aunts on my dad's side. Mm-hmm. Those services were beautiful, but one that sticks out prior to this is for one of my older aunts, like one of the elders. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to call her name because there's a chance that my family's listening and they get mad at me. But anyway, as y'all know by now, my family is Jamaican, and Jamaicans have a beautiful habit of mispronouncing words. The preacher or whoever the guy was, I don't even know who he was. I really don't. But he said, fill in the blank, was the epitome of womanhood. And me and my sister, I'm sitting next to my daddy. I was like, what?
That'll make you dry up real quick from a whole crowd. You're like, huh?
What? And I looked up. I was like, that's not what are you talking? Epitome. So I looked.
As soon as you said it, I knew who the word was.
Right.
So
I looked back at my sister because she's giggling. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep my face straight because it's something else.
This makes me wonder if when everybody's having all these homegoing services, if the Lord Almighty is sitting up in heaven watching them from above,
his head.
And I wonder if he's grabbing his popcorn and listening, like you said, when the guy was like epitome, he was like,
nah, and he's like, I know I didn't tell you to say it like that.
He was like, what? No. Or he probably looking at Gabriel like, Judy just said.
Right. Like bringing it back to Samson's homegoing as we envisioned it, I'm sure there were moments like that. Moments like how you mentioned that happened at your is it just your granddad's funeral?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
That has to be okay. If I have to name a favorite part of our whole season, that's high ranking because I
think we giggled so hard.
No, I literally had tears in my eyes.
Yeah, I
took my glasses off. That's how bad it was.
I don't know if people could even y'all may not have been able to understand us through that one because we've laughed so hard on that episode. I don't know if that's probably one in my top 3 though. But I don't know if it's that one or if I had a favorite moment. I think my favorite moment was the what if Adam and Eve didn't get kicked out the garden? And I was like, yeah. Abel was behind the bush and found the serpent and swinging him. It's like, I don't know what this is. Look what I found. So I think that would probably be my favorite. But oh man, that episode of Steps though, oh man, that had me giggling, and it's because it was probably so inappropriate. But
it was, and then we learned there's some inappropriate things that happen in Judges after Samson.
Yes,
too,
yeah.
Which it's a very sensitive subject, but it's in the word.
Right, it's in the word, and it's what happens.
It's just so gross. Like
yeah,
this,
right. It's a reminder of what we have happening today.
Right.
Was happening still way back when. And unfortunately, these crimes, this evil that is currently on earth existed since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it's just, it honestly does give me hope because there's so many times where a guy probably could have just rewiped, redo, and just reset everything. Because as we got through Judges and you realize gosh, there's still after he's redone this so many times, there's still evil keeps cropping back up.
Right.
And people don't seem to want to follow the Lord and his word and what he's asking. It's he's like, I don't ask you too much.
Right. It's right. Because he's not even asking you to do a whole lot.
He's not.
He literally there's more law, but he gave you 10 commandments.
Right.
Stay within those commandments.
Yeah. And you have the atonement day for your sins. You can make sacrifice for the little mess ups that you do. Mm-hmm. But it's dang, it's every time they had no leader, they operated lawlessness and they lost their mind. So it does give me hope that he was so forgiving that I'm so thankful that we do have a forgiving God because man.
And you know what? Speaking of hope, as we go into season 2, we're going to touch on some good stories about love and happiness. And, we might hit up on Song of Solomon and Ruth and Boaz.
Yes. Yes. So, and because we're still working on our A-side stories as we wrap into season 2. Yeah. And then like Miss Jaye said, we have some really good love stories. Mm-hmm. We have some really, really, really good classic stories still to cover. My favorite that I probably won't be able to make it through, and y'all probably gonna write me off after that one, is gonna be Job's episode because that book, when I read that, I was like, man.
I'm sorry.
Y'all gonna be mad at me because some of the things I probably bring up and say, I'm like,
Job was a hard.
That was a hard one. That was a hard book because he was like, "What are you?" If I was there, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Would you stop?"
That's gonna be a good one, y'all. And what's also gonna be a good one is Jonah and the Whale.
Oh man, you know what? I love that VeggieTales movie when they did the Jonah and the Whale.
Oh my!
I love that movie. Oh, they were singing up in that movie.
Listen, VeggieTales could blow. Okay?
Listen, I love me some VeggieTales.
Yeah. So we have a lot to look forward for season 2, and we're also going to give you guys a special episode too about our church experience.
Yes, we promise. So next week's episode, we will do a bonus. Yes. For you all, we're going to talk about our church, just like we talked about, unfortunately, homegoing experiences. We're going to talk some more about church experiences and some of the things that tickled us as kids all the way up through adulthood. So tune in next week, and I promise we'll have a great title for this bonus episode for you all to enjoy.
We will. And I just want to say again, thank you for rocking with us. We've had a great first season, and I just look forward to about 15, 35, 40 more. Because it's good.
I know, right? There's so much material. We ain't going to run out.
Literally so much. Because, y'all, we are still in the Old Testament.
We're only in book 8.
Yeah, we're in the beginning. So we've got a lot more to go.
How many books are there?
In the Bible? 60-something?
Is it? Probably.
Google. It's your friend.
I know, true. But
I think it's 66 books.
Yeah.
I should know this.
I know, right? I should, too. I'm like.
We should know it's on top of our heads.
Yeah. I don't know, but either way, we are only in book 8.
Yeah, but I believe it's 66 books.
So yeah, there's plenty of material to go around.
Lord.
So all right, but thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this very, very special episode 10 recap reel episode of ours, and we'll be back next week.
All right, y'all. See you soon.
Bye.